Hello everyone. Today's topic is going to be about the Philippine language, Tagalog. I don't know if you guys struggle with the language or even want to learn it. I know many Americans who come here, they don't have problem communicating with the Philippines because Philippines, most of them speaks pretty good English. But if you plan to be here permanently and having plans to learn the language, I'm just wondering, are you having difficulties learning it? According to the U.S. Department of Education, the Tagalog is a Category 3 language, hard. So they consider it Category 3 to learn. Supposedly, just to learn the basic Tagalog takes 44 weeks or 1,110 hours. Now in the Philippines, they have I believe 111 different dialects. So I noticed when we went to Davao, for example, with my wife, to the immigration office, and she understood most of the people were talking there, but there were some people who came in from other regions of the Philippines, and she only understood half of them, or they only understood half of that, what she was saying. But Tagalog is the main language here. And what I was thinking, I mean, yeah, you can probably buy the Rosetta Stone and learn it that way on your own, but I always believe on a one-on-one teacher teaching it. Even if a person is not educated in the teaching, but somebody who is born here and can sit down and teach you to write, read, and talk, and put the words actually in a conversation, in a sentence. And what I was thinking, I wonder what you guys think about this. I appreciate any comments on this subject, that many Filipinos are struggling financially. It's difficult to make a decent living here for the citizens, and but many of them are very bright. And what I was thinking, I was talking with my wife about this, that some places in the Philippines have more foreigners than others. Some of them are more popular, and foreigners maybe feel more comfortable in certain areas, certain regions. And what I was thinking, that how nice it would be if somebody who's really struggling financially but willing to do some work would create a small class, let's say 6 to 10 people, 3 times a week, and let's say talking about a female would act as a teacher, and she can make nice little wages. Everybody would have to pay for the class, and let's say if it's American dollars, it really wouldn't cost that much for the person, well worth the education, but for the Filipino it would make a huge difference in their living, buying food and paying for the bills. And could be done in a cafeteria maybe, or maybe in somebody's house where there's air condition. And I think it would be very beneficial for everybody, for the Filipino and also for the people who go there as a student willing to learn Tagalog, at least the basic. And if it's been estimated to take 44 weeks to, if you count them by the hours, 1,110 hours, maybe it could be done in 800 hours, depends how good the teaching goes and how people willing to put in time to study. Well, I'll be honest, I tried to learn, not from Rosetta Stone, I believe it's an excellent teaching tool, but just online here through Google, and I gave up. I don't think I could ever learn it that way. And there was a time when I lived in Germany, for example, and I didn't speak one word in German that time. But what helped me greatly was the TV and being out in among people. And I think it took me like 18 months to pick up the very basic German. And but it's a little bit different. I mean, much different than Tagalog. So with Tagalog, I truly believe that one-on-one would be awesome. Finding somebody who's willing to do it. So, you know, they help us out, we help that other person out too. So what you folks think about this? I think everybody who speaks the English language can get away with living here and never learning the language, but wouldn't you like to know what they communicate? For example, you go to family to get-togethers, or go buy a vehicle, and they suddenly start to talk Tagalog, and you have absolutely no idea what is going on. They can smile in your face and lie right into your face. You just never know. So I think one thing that learning the language where you live is being respectful, and the other is knowledge is power. Language could seem like it's impossible to learn, but the more and more you commit to it, then it just starts to come to you. I truly believe that. And to me too. When I lived in the United States, I taught my children Hungarian. I'm fluent in Hungarian, write and read, and they were mostly raised up learning Hungarian. And but when they went to school, they were a little bit behind the English, even though they spoke English, but they still lacked some of the basic knowledges what we needed to be in the first grade. And in America, they have this excellent teaching tool. It's called Hooked on Phonics. And I ordered it, you send it out. It was back in the days when we had cassette tapes. It wasn't CD, but now they have CDs on. But back in the days in cassette tapes, and you can replay it, and they also give you board games, and also you write down, you read it out loud. To me, it was an excellent teaching tool. I wish they would have that here in the Philippines in Tagalog. I would 100% buy it. And I remember when I was in the United States and I had a coworker, he was from Cuba. And a real good guy, nice guy, hard worker, but his English, even being there for about 5 years, 4.5, 5 years, he just didn't speak the language. He could barely communicate even the basic English with us. And I don't know if it bothered him because he didn't even focusing on it, trying to learn it. So one day, in a very basic way, I tried to explain it to him that, you know, it's not a shame, but the way to learn English, you have to go down to the kindergarten level. And he got so offended over that. And I said, look at it this way. So I tried to explain it to him so he doesn't feel that offended. I said, when you build a house, do you start with a roof and then build the foundation, or you build the foundation first and then slowly build up the walls, and the roof is the very last item when you put on the top of your house, right? Same thing with the language. You're not gonna be able to go into advanced, even though you're grown up, but you don't understand anything. So you have to start from a very bottom, and it's not a shame because you're learning a new language, right? So he got pissed off over that. He actually came back to me next day, and I could tell he was really pissed off. He said, "I'm not a little kid," with his very heavy accent. I said, "I never called you a little kid. I was just trying to help you, but to refuse it, that's okay. It's up on you." But anyway, I brought this up because I really wish there would be a teaching material like that here in the Philippines too, to learn the Tagalog. Something like Hooked on Phonics. But also having a one-on-one teacher, I think it could be awesome. I've been here in the Philippines coming up 2 years. This August is going to be 2 years. And I'm not going to lie, I don't know much Tagalog at all. I'm not blaming anybody for it but myself. I'm not putting in the time. and but I am going to learn it. I know. I just had to commit to it. But I know that, for example, we go to a market to buy vegetables or fruits or fish or anything, and I sometimes find certain items higher at certain vendors, and I'm not gonna lie, I like to negotiate. I'm not trying to negotiate to the point that they don't make a profit. I understand they have to make a profit on a living, but for example, you see a kilogram of cabbage for 50 pesos one place, and a kilogram same cabbage 80 pesos another place. Now, I could walk back and get it for 50, but since I'm standing at the other one, I would love to be able to negotiate. Now, if I negotiate in English, most likely understand me, but they're sure not going to come down with the price because they figured, he's from foreign country, he has money to buy it, to pay for it. And many other things. When we get to family togethers, I would love to be able to communicate at least the basic. And I mean, they're really trying their best to speak English to me, but I don't want it to be one-sided. I want it to be able to contribute to the conversation too in their mother language. Well, okay, that's about it. So feel free to comment. Just be respectful, okay? And we see it from there. Hopefully somebody comes up with some even better ideas than mine. Okay, folks, take care.